One of the most important success factors discovered over and over again is the quality of action orientation. Successful people are intensely action-oriented. They are busier. They try more things, and they try harder. They start a little earlier, and they stay a little later. Unsuccessful people, on the other hand, start at the last moment necessary and quit at the first moment possible. We used to have an employee who was always late. When we spoke to him about this, he explained that his reason for being late was the traffic. We suggested to him that he leave earlier so that the traffic would not be a problem. He was shocked. He said, "But if I left earlier and there was no traffic, I might arrive at work earlier than my starting time. I couldn't possibly do that." Needless to say, we soon let him go and hired someone else with a greater sense of responsibility and commitment. His attitude of doing the very least possible and starting at the last possible moment has set him up for failure time and time again. If you want to get more out, you have to put more in. And there's no other way. Napoleon Hill found that the key quality of successful men and women, most of whom started at the bottom, many of them penniless, was that early in life they developed the habit of going the extra mile. In one study of self-made millionaires, these self-made millionaires almost unanimously agreed that their success was the result of always doing more than they were paid for. They had made it a habit from their first jobs to always put in more than they took out. When I speak to a graduating class of business students, they often ask me, usually with some concern, if I can give them some suggestions or ideas on what they can do to be successful in the world of work. I always give them the same advice. First, as soon as you get settled in at your new job and you're on top of your work, go to your boss and tell him or her that you want more responsibility. When I first started doing this as a young executive with a large corporation, my boss nodded and smiled and thanked me for my interest. But nothing happened, at least for a while. Every few days I would report to my boss and mention in parting that I wanted more responsibility. After a few weeks of this, my boss gave me a project to study and evaluate. I jumped on it like a dog jumping on a bone and ran off. I worked day and night and throughout the weekend, tearing that project apart, gathering research, reassembling the details, and putting together a report and a proposal. On Monday morning, I was back to my boss with a complete proposal on the subject. He was obviously surprised. He said there was no rush. I didn't expect anything from him for a week or two. I thanked him for his concern and told him that this project evaluation is complete as you requested, and by the way, I would really like more responsibility. Things began to change for me very soon after that project evaluation. A week later, I was given another small task completely outside my range of duties. Again, I grabbed the task and completed it to the best of my ability. A week or two later, my boss gave me another task, and then a week later, still another task. In every case, whatever it was, whether I knew anything about it or not, I immediately went to work on it, often on my own time and on the weekends. I would get it done and back to my boss as fast as I could. Once you get the responsibility that you have asked for, complete it quickly and well, and get it back to your boss as fast as you can, as though it was a grenade with a pin pulled out. Move quickly. Don't delay. Very soon, my boss had marked me down as the go-to guy. Whenever something came up that he needed handling immediately, he called me rather than any of the other executives, some of whom had been working there for several years. In no time, I began to move up in the organization. One day, he threw me a task, like a football to a tight end in a close game, which I caught and ran with for a touchdown. By acting quickly, flying 1,000 miles and working day and night, I discovered a fraud and saved the company $2 million. If I had delayed even a couple of days, the money would have been lost forever. After that success, the dam broke. First I was given a large assignment, then responsibility for an entire new division, then another division, and then a third. By the time I had been working for that company for 2 years, I was running 3 divisions involving almost $50 million worth of business activities and managing a staff of more than 50 people in 3 offices. Meanwhile, my co-workers were still coming in at 9 o'clock sharp, going for lunch with each other, and quitting at 5 o'clock to go for drinks at the bar. They muttered and told each other that the reason I was moving up was because I was lucky, or the boss was playing favorites. They never learned the importance of asking for more responsibility and moving fast. Here's an important point. Since the day is going to go past in any case, why not start a little earlier, work a little harder, and stay a little later? Why not put yourself on the side of the angels? Why not develop a reputation as the go-to guy or gal who everyone looks to when they need to get something done quickly and well? This will do more to put your foot on the accelerator of your career than anything else you can imagine. There's a key to high income called the momentum principle of success. Successful people are busy people. They get up and they get going and they keep going all day long. They work all the time they work. They're constantly in motion like moving targets. In every study, there seems to be a direct relationship between tight time planning and high income. The highest paid professionals in our society, every one of them manages their time in terms of minutes spent on each case or with each patient. The people who earn the very least in our society are those who think of their time in terms of the day, the week, the month, or even the year. Sometimes they waste the first couple of days of the week. They think that they will catch up later on in the week. Sometimes they waste the first 1 or 2 weeks of the month. I've worked with countless sales organizations over the years. Fully 80% of the salespeople in these organizations, all of whom work on monthly quotas, take it easy for the first 3 weeks of the month and then suddenly go into a state of frantic activity during the last week, working desperately to make enough sales to hit their quotas. But not the top people. The top people work on the first day of the month with the same focus and intensity that they worked on the last day of the previous month. They beat the rush hour traffic by getting in before anyone else. And they beat the rush hour traffic in the evening by staying and working long after everyone else has rushed out to sit on the freeway. Mentally and physically, the faster you move, the more energy you have. The faster you move, the more you get done, the more you get paid, and the more successful you feel. Apply the momentum principle to your life. Once you start going, keep going. The key to getting more things done is for you to select your most important task and then to start it with a sense of urgency. This is the real key to success and high achievement. Now, here are 3 things you can do immediately to put these ideas into action. First, resolve today to pick up the pace in your life. Move faster from task to task. Walk quickly. Develop a higher tempo of activity. Second, imagine you were going away tomorrow for a month and you had to get caught up on everything before you left. Work as hard and as fast as you do just before you leave for vacation. Third, practice tight time planning. Imagine that you only had half the time available to get the job done and work with a sense of urgency all day long.
Change is a natural part of life, but it can often be intimidating and overwhelming. According to Brian Tracy, the key is not just to accept change, but to embrace it as an opportunity for growth and improvement. He suggests that when we view change in a positive light, we become more open to new possibilities and can unleash our true potential. Brian Tracy outlines 3 essential steps to embrace life changes effectively. Step 1. Acknowledge and evaluate. Brian emphasizes the importance of acknowledging the need for change and assessing its potential impact on our lives. Whether it's a career change, a relationship shift, or personal development, understanding why we need to change is crucial to move forward. Step 2. Plan and prepare. Once we've identified the change we want to make, Brian advises us to create a well-thought-out plan. Planning helps us identify the necessary actions, resources, and support systems required to navigate the change successfully. Step 3. Take decisive action. This step is the heart of Brian Tracy's teachings. Taking decisive action is all about stepping out of our comfort zones and making the necessary changes. It involves confronting fears, being persistent, and maintaining a positive mindset. Brian Tracy reminds us that obstacles are inevitable when making significant life changes. However, rather than seeing them as roadblocks, he encourages us to perceive them as learning opportunities. With the right attitude, Setbacks can serve as stepping stones to success. One of the core principles shared by Brian Tracy is the concept of continuous improvement. He urges us to maintain a growth mindset, constantly learning and seeking ways to enhance our skills and knowledge. This approach ensures that we not only embrace change, but also thrive in the ever-changing world around us. As we conclude today's episode, we hope that Brian Tracy's insights have inspired you to take action and embrace life changes with confidence and determination. Remember, change is inevitable, but how we respond to it determines our success and fulfillment in life. So, let's embrace change, take decisive action, and unlock our true potential. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for more inspiring topics, and remember to subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Until next time, take action, embrace change, and live your best life. Goodbye!